Hey Hugs, just a reminder before you get into the show that we have merchandise, yes, and you can find it on our Ugly Truth website. There's a little tab, you can click on it, and then you can peruse to see all of our styles. You can grab a mug or a sticker. We have hoodies and t-shirts, pretty much anything you would want to show your pride for being an Ugly Truth listener. New styles definitely will be coming in 2021, and we will let you know when those drop. Thank you so much for supporting us. Enjoy the show. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 510. Ugh, ugh. We are here. We are queer. Get used to it.
You know, queer just means unusual or abnormal. It doesn't mean gay.
Well, I think most people would think it meant gay. But anyway, we are queer, though. Weird in the weird way, for sure. So we're going to do a really cute quiz, a new Would You Rather, which I love. Yes. But before that, I wanted to tell you that I'm pretty sure I feel literally ripped in half on this because I'm just being true to myself. I know this is just who I am, but it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I'm fairly certain I'm a terrible person when it comes to sympathy for others, specifically people.
Don't be fairly certain. You are. We are.
Specifically toward adults that I love. And so I don't know why. I really have no idea why this is. I think it's because of the way we grew up.
We're adults and we have no sympathy for anyone because we have to go through the same shit that they do and we don't get, pity parties.
So men in particular. So anyway, I have been struggling. My struggle has been Daryl and his allergies. For the last couple of weeks, I'd say almost 3 weeks, he's been really struggling. Now, according to our doctor, the molds are high, and so
well, of course, he's probably like a fall allergy guy.
It's just been brutal. Now, I know because I take allergy medication, and even with all of it, I do have days where I suffer more than others, but it is what it is. And I just kind of over-medicate, and I just kind of get through it.
I'm a mold person, too.
Yeah, and Tyler and I, my son, we tend to be really miserable in the spring when all the freaking hay fever and shit is blooming. Mm-hmm. It's just the worst. Anyway, so he's been really struggling with his ears just being under a tremendous amount of pressure.
Oh my gosh. My ears itch so freaking bad every day. I can't shove enough Q-tips in there. And there's nothing in there.
No, it's just
like, gosh, I scrub them as much as I can, giving myself like eargasms every day.
So anyway, he's been really struggling with it. And so he does Flonase. The last time he went to the doctor said, well, the Flonase is fine, but you need to add another one because this will help combat the pressure and all that stuff. He's like, all right, fine. He hates the second spray because it burns and it feels like he's, swallowed water up his nose in a pool kind of feeling. He just really hates it. Okay. So he's doing both. And I looked it up and I said, hey, man, I go, are you doing like the right dosage of this? You're supposed to be doing 2 of these, And he goes, yes, I'm doing that. I go, okay. And I re-clarified what I said. And he said, yes. And I said, all right, well, that's weird that it's not working because most people who do nasal sprays they don't lose a tolerance to it. Like it never, like you don't build a tolerance against nasal spray. And so he's like, all right. Anyway, so I can't tell you, like this is when I knew I'd had it.
Oh, wait, I have a question for you. Did you take it upon yourself to watch him?
No.
Okay.
I can hear him do it, and he hates it, because now, his new nickname is Walter, because he's like Walter from You've Got Mail.
Right.
I told him, I said, do I need to buy you...
You just hand him the tissues at night, yes. And start his humidifier.
I'm like, do I need to buy you a humidifier? He goes, never! And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever, Walter.
The gallon of distilled water next to his bedside. You should do that one night. Have a distilled gallon of water and a humidifier next to his bed with a box of tissues.
That would require me to care too much, and I simply don't. So
that's just for a good. He gets
a swig of Clamato out of the fridge. He takes a drink of Clamato, and he winces. He's like, ooh, like that. And I said, well, if it's bad, don't put it back. Just throw it away. He goes, no, it's not that. It's just this nasal spray makes my mouth taste terrible. And I'm like.
Okay, you eat asshole. Come on.
I'm like, all right. And so finally, he's sitting there wincing. He's like, the ringing in my ears is just the worst. And then when I leave the room, he'll sneeze really bad or he'll cough for a really long time. I'm like, I hate you. So finally,
I'd be like, Daryl, There are soldiers coming back from overseas that have tinnitus so bad they can't sit in a quiet room. And you're complaining about allergies?
So finally, I said, I think you need to go to the doctor and rule out a sinus infection. Rule out bacteria, anything, because it's gotten really bad and you're claiming that you're doing everything you can. I go, take a fucking Sudafed, take some Advil, do something. And so finally, he calls the doctor, goes in, and the doctor goes, wow, he's like, if I could show you your ear right now, I mean, it's so puffy, but no infection of any kind. So Daryl tells him, he confirms with him the kind of what he's doing. And he goes, Daryl, that's a child's dosage. And I'm like,
isn't that appropriate?
When he came home and told me that, I said, if you would just listen to your wife more often, we wouldn't be having this discussion. You'd probably be just fine. So he starts doing the correct dosage, starts to feel better. And I said, I highly suggest you take a Zyrtec on top of everything else to reduce the pressure. Take a decongestant, do anything.
You're far nicer than I am, because once that they've stopped listening to me, I'm just like, you know what? Fuck you. You're on your own. I give a shit if you die. Don't ask me for another thing.
He doesn't ask. That's the problem, is he just sits there and suffers, but he suffers loudly with his body language to make me hostile. And
that would not be allowed.
You would think. I mean, you are more vocal about what goes through your brain. I keep most of it inside my head. Stephanie and I have this agreement where we know how positively evil we are towards people, but we just don't say a third of what we're thinking. And so
I understand that.
Yeah, I just can't. Well, you're hostile a lot, and it's uncomfortable sometimes. So I just can't do that to people.
But I'm
just can't.
To everyone, even in public.
I'm aware, Paula. Quite aware.
Do too. They're just like, well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, you think I can't hear you speaking over here? What? You think you're just talking loudly, assuming I'm going to overhear you? Well, I'm hearing you right now. If you have something to say, I'm right here. Just look at me and talk. Or you can just talk loudly and just hope I'm going to get uncomfortable and not say anything, because that's not going to happen. So why don't you just talk to my face?
The difference is I don't care enough. I don't care enough about people. I just don't. And I'm just like, what? You know what? You're not even worth my time.
I think that's a cop-out. I address everything.
No.
I get mad.
I'm not interested in being tedious. I'm not interested. Anyway, so 3 times I had suggested he needs to beef up his regime, because clearly, I go, you can't just rely on the nasal spray. You've got to really hit this on all sides. So I said that. He didn't listen. And then finally last night, he finally listened to me. He goes like, well, I did check, and I can take a Zyrtec. I'm like, well, wonders never cease. Your wife knows what the fuck she's talking about. God. Eat the fucking drugs. So finally he wakes up. He goes, he's like, I woke up so slow this morning. I was so druggy and tired. I'm like, well, if you had done what I had asked you to do, I don't know, a month ago, you'd be fine today. But that's all right. I go, and a decongestant is something you can absolutely take. I mean, I realize that people aren't like us, where we will literally overload our body with drugs to feel better.
Yeah.
But
there's people who are just like, you should try some echinacea oil and drip it on the back of your throat.
If I have like any kind of need for Advil and I say, hey, can I have Advil? For years, he would only give me 2. I'm like, what are you doing? Why am I only getting 2?
Am I an infant?
He's like, this is the right dosage. He goes, this is the correct dosage. I'm like, no, it isn't for me. Give me 3. And before I got migraine medicine, no, that's a suggestion, is 3. But before I got migraine medicine, I was taking 4. I mean,
I always take 4.
Yeah, I can't take 4.
Now when Victor, I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, can you get me I'm like, I'll take 2 of these, 2 of those, and like maybe 1 of those. And so I get like Skittles when I take medication now.
Yeah, I'm just not, and the thing is that they have really dumbed down the potency of over-the-counter medications. I remember a time when Sudafed was a godsend, and now it's a joke. It's not even the real shit anymore, because people are dumb and started making meth with the good stuff.
You can't even buy the good stuff.
You can't even get it.
Jamie, I went to the fucking, where was I? CVS. I tried to buy Dimetapp, and I'll never forget this. Everyone was sick, so I tried to buy NyQuil and Dimetapp at the same time, and they wouldn't let me buy them together. I had to go to 2 stores.
Yes.
And I'm like, are you joking me? I have a sick family. And she's like, I'm sorry, you can't buy these together. And I was just like, I'm ready to throw the freaking Dimetapp across the store. I was just so pissed. I'm like, so I had to go to Rite Aid and CVS to purchase fucking medication. And I'm just like, what do you think I'm going to do with children's Dimetapp? Snort it?
Well, it just sucks because it's like, if I showed up with like 10 packs of Sudafed, okay, I understand that being suspicious. But if I'm buying, Advil Sinus nighttime, Dimetapp, Triaminic, Robitussin.
And pads. Then what do you think I'm going to do with those? I'm wearing sweats. My hair is greasy. My nose is red. My face is pale. And I look like I haven't, brushed my teeth in 3 days. And obviously I'm here not of my own will. And I'm buying NyQuil, Dimetapp, a box of tissues, and pads. What do you think? Do you think I'm cooking meth?
I just feel bad for my family when I just have no tolerance for any kind of suffering. None. I mean, I have more tolerance for the children than I do for the adults and, for my husband. But like when Daryl is, I'm like you. I allot. Well, you have a less of a tolerance than I do. I allot about 24 hours. Like
I
even
give 24 hours.
When he came home from his colonoscopy, I gave him the whole day, because it's really exhausting and you're exhausted.
It doesn't hurt though.
He really struggled with the whole. I mean, he was so anxious though, Paula. Like he's never been put under before, so he was really afraid. And so when he came home and he survived and everything was great, he slept because he hadn't slept the night before at all. And so he slept, he ate literally everything he could get his hands on. And then the next day he was great.
Yeah, that's fine.
But, it was a traumatic thing. If he had continued with that the next day with something, I would have been like, okay, it's over and you're fine. Like, you don't have to go back for 10 years. Shut up about it. But he didn't,
that's cool.
luckily.
It's like the man flu, though. I can deal with it for... Actually, Victor's worse when it comes to being sick. He'll put it off and be like, I'm fine. And he'll do that for 2 weeks. And then the next thing I know, he has pneumonia. And I'm like, God, I told you.
Yeah.
You make it 100 times worse.
Well, and Paula, 2 weeks of suffering through the house. I mean, you're dealing with him.
But he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say a word. He doesn't complain because he knows I won't deal with it.
Yes.
See, this is the thing I think is funny. You and Stephanie think I have a low tolerance because on the front end, I just say either do it or just shut up. Mm-hmm. You guys say you put up with it, but then the moment they take your advice, you rub it in their face and you go off. I don't think it's a tolerance thing. I think you guys just like to rub it in their faces.
No, that's not it at all. What I hate is he was so stubborn about it. He absolutely did not believe that I had the correct answers. With all of that being said, Daryl hopefully is on the mend and I don't have to scream, I told you so anymore. He also learns very quickly. See, the thing that makes me really mad, it literally triggers me, is when he does the body language shit. He's like, and he and then finally I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm just dealing with, all of these things. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, go do that somewhere else. I just can't.
I just completely ignore it.
I leave. I just freaking leave. And then all of a sudden he's alone and he's like, well, I just came up to see what you were doing. I'm like, not coughing. That's for sure.
I just completely ignore it. I act like it's not even happening.
I can't.
I will not indulge anything.
No, it's frustrating beyond. He doesn't do it all the time.
Sociopath. So I mean,
it's just I don't know why those things just make me want to rip my skin off, and it's been that way my whole life. I mean, we used to do that to each other. We'd be like, if you're going to cough like this. Like we had restrictions on how to be human. I don't know why we were like that. I'm still like that.
I think I'm used to it because our stepdad is the most bodily functioned person on the planet. And if you just acknowledge it in any way, shape, or form, then you'll hear a 20-minute story about what's going on. So that's why I'm just I don't acknowledge or indulge or dignify any kind of sniff
clues.
Or cough or blink or eye wipe or anything because I'm afraid what's going to come after that. So I just ignore everything.
When it happens on a TV show or a movie where they go, and I'm just like, this is so aggressive. I can't with it. I would be like, shut up, just shut up. I don't want to hear whatever you have to tell me with your stupid mouth. I can't.
I will pause the entire room and I'd be like, is there something you need? Do you need a tissue? Do you want some medication? Like, what needs to happen? Because whatever you're doing is obviously not working. So I will just make a scene of it. If they want to make a big issue about their phlegm, their cough, their sniffles, I'd be like, what can we do to get this to stop? Because obviously it's causing you to have a problem, and the rest of the room is being distracted by your bodily functions.
What?
So
I'm just existing. What do you mean? I can't help it.
They don't say that. They're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, well, why don't you just go to the bathroom and blow your nose so it doesn't keep running? And you don't have to keep sniffing in front of everyone.
Here's what's going to be interesting. We're gonna come upon some weird article. It's like, do you hate the way people breathe and exist in your life?
Oh,
you have a mental disorder.
It's already out there. It's like an ASMR shit stuff or something, or the reverse ASMR. I think there is a thing about it. Like, I think it's part of OCD or something like that.
So we're just once again, of
course, we're categorically
reinforcing.
Crazy or some kind of
reinforcing that we have issues, mental issues.
Oh, please. Like, that's a secret.
I know. Okay, moving on. You said that you and Olivia did a Would You Rather, and you thought it was really funny, and so now you're going to do it to me, so I am ready.
Okay, ours is not as bad as hers. Like, hers the other day, she's like, Mom, would you rather be a gorilla or a chimpanzee?
Oh, neither.
The thing with hers, though, is it came with acting, so she was walking around the house like a gorilla. Well, Ryan started first, and then she's like, no, Mom, it's like this.
I see. You're not going to make me do that, though, right?
Well, even if you did, I wouldn't see it. So
okay, good. Go ahead.
Okay, so would you rather every shirt you wear be kind of itchy or only be able to use one-ply toilet paper?
I guess the toilet paper.
Yeah.
But I would just go through so much of it.
Well, I mean, you could use a lot to where it would kind of be two-ply, but...
It would just be so rough. Anyway.
Well, I mean, Charmin does have one... Wait, do they have one-ply?
No, they would never. Those Charmin bears would never do single ply.
They would never lower their standards to have one-ply. Who does have one-ply? I guess that's like what you get at, like, freaking...
Dollar Tree?
Commercial, building, like Spaghetti Factory or something.
You know where you get single ply is when you go to any fancy restaurant anywhere, because you're like, oh, this is biodegradable. We are self-sustaining. We don't do this so your toilet paper is brown and practically dissolves in your pee.
Yeah,
that is where you touch
your fingers down there, and all of a sudden, like, you're fingering yourself.
You're like, why is my finger wet? Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Not just that, you pull away and you've got little flecks of paper on there that you can't roll off.
The place where you pay for a ton of luxury and you do go to take a pee and you're like, what is this shit? And that is where you get it.
I've never, well, I guess it's at clubs, but I mean, you always hear these movies about men having guys in there, giving mints and cologne and stuff. I'm like, I've never been anywhere where it's just tampon, or.
I've never been anywhere like that either. And women don't want that anyway.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's probably why we don't have them, because no woman would ever have that job.
Well, first of all, no.
Well, I'm trying to think what movie I saw that.
If I go into the bathroom and there's just a woman, if there's a host just standing there in front of the stalls with a tray of things, I'd be like, are you going to be here the whole time? Can I tip you to leave?
I'd be like, can you leave? I kind of have to go to the bathroom.
I can't pee with a guest.
I can't remember what movie it was, but there was a movie where the dad was like a bathroom attendant, and he's in there talking to his dad, introducing his fiance, and there's a guy in the bathroom taking a huge shit. And it's like,
oh God, ew.
And then the guy's just he leaves, and he's just like, well, he needs to put down his straight and starts rolling up his sleeves. He's like, I've got business to attend to.
Gross. What a terrible job. Okay, number 2.
Would you rather be compelled to high five everyone you meet, or be compelled to give wedgies to anyone in a green t-shirt?
I mean, I'd have to high five because I don't want to touch anyone's butt.
I cannot touch every person. I would rather just give the wedgie and run.
Paula, you want to touch their moist ass crack?
You touch their underwear, Jamie. You don't touch their butt crack.
You have to go down there and grab it. Ugh. No, I'll high five, thank you.
God, you don't need hands. Every person, Jamie. Every person.
I'm aware. I'm not touching anyone's ass. I'm not going down their waist to grab.
Okay, but a green shirt. Only a green shirt.
Okay.
You're going to touch everyone. That's gross. Okay.
Whatever.
Would you rather have skin that changes color based on your emotions or tattoos appear all over your body depicting what you did yesterday?
Oh, I'd be a chameleon. The human chameleon.
Probably. I'd look like Rainbow Bright, like constantly. Actually,
I would be red. I'd probably be red or blue constantly. Sad or angry. That's it.
If my true color was showing, I'd probably be like, I don't know.
Be like, hey, have you seen that red lady?
No, I was just thinking I'd be like, like a psychopath or a sociopath. So I'd probably just walk around like, well, I don't want to say black because I don't mean black, but I mean like, the color like black.
Yeah, I get it.
They're just like, wow, she has no soul. She has no feelings.
No.
I'm exposed.
No, I mean, the tattoos would be, well, first of all, I wouldn't have that many.
Actually, I would just have one to probably have my computer on my shoulder. Actually, you know what? They'd be like, this is the 4th day I've seen you, and I've not seen a shower on you. I'd be like, shut up! Actually, my to-do list the other day, I've been down in the dumps, too. I literally had to write, take a shower on there.
So you would do it?
Yes!
No, I know. I came downstairs, and I had done some yard work, because I'm like, I think I need to get out and move around a little bit. I mean, I have been trying to exercise and stuff, but I just... Well, I don't know if you remember this, but on New Year's Day, I woke up and I hit the hamper and I broke my baby toe.
What?
I did.
Oh, wait. When you said I hit the hamper, I'm like, is that an exercise?
No.
Well, you were talking about exercise. So
I know. Well, the reason I'm saying this is I jammed my baby toe in the middle of the night on the hamper, and the hamper has a wire rim at the bottom, and I broke it, and I broke my baby toe, and so I've been taping it and stuff, and it feels better, but working out, it's damn near impossible. The pain is too great. It's really hard.
You should do something different. Oh, you only have the elliptical.
Well, I mean, I do yoga too, but that's even harder because you use every muscle in your feet when you do yoga, and so it's
it's all stretching.
Oh my god! Well, and your balance, and there's a lot of balance, and it's just like my toes, like so I can't really do a whole lot. So anyway, it's been really depressing. I still stretch and stuff, but not. Like I forced myself to do the elliptical the other day, and my foot was literally numb because it hurt so bad. So I'm like, all right.
Have you considered going to the doctor? I mean,
There's nothing they can do.
I know, but what if it's more than the toe?
It's not. No, it's not.
How do you know? What, did you do x-rays?
No, but it feels... There's nothing they're going to do for a broken digit. They don't do anything.
I'm just saying you don't know if the crack went into, like, the main part. I'm just saying.
No, it's not like that. Oh. Anyway, so I came downstairs, and I did it, and I go, well, just like you saying on your to-do list is shower, and he goes, what's the matter? I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, there's so little to do right now that, I don't even want to clean. And then eventually I look around going, I guess I need to clean because there's literally nothing else to do. And I hate that being the only thing on the menu. It fucking sucks. I hate it.
I have way too much to do, but it's things that only I can do. And so Victor looked at my list, and he's just like, when it came to take a shower, and there was something else on there, like, I don't know, a couple other things. He's just like, I wish I could help you with this list. He says, but there's really nothing I can do on here. I'm all, you want to take a shower?
Yeah, so, I know. Although Daryl would be happy to help me shower. So anyway, all right.
Well, same thing. Okay, would you rather have to fart loudly every time you have a serious conversation or have to burp after every kiss?
Oh, Paula. I mean, I guess burp.
Yeah, because I have way too many serious conversations.
I can't.
Every time Victor and I watch TV, I can't tell you how many times I have to pause it to give my opinion on something. So
what a surprise.
Like you don't. And so
I don't pause shows.
You and Daryl don't watch shows together?
No, we do, but I don't pause to have an opinion. I wait till the end like a normal person. Anyway.
I can't wait. I get excited. Okay.
I know.
Would you rather eat a sandwich made from 4 ingredients in your fridge chosen at random, or eat a sandwich made by a group of your friends from 4 ingredients in your fridge?
First one. No one's touching my food.
At random? Well, I'm just imagining if it was like, me, Stephanie, Daryl, and Allison.
No.
No. We used to do that to each other.
I know. I think I'm triggered because I'm like, no, I would never eat anything my sister's prepared for me as a surprise.
Tried that. Oh, God.
God,
so what do we have
we
together?
made you something. Well, you'll love it. It's delicious.
We have strawberry jam. And then we have onions.
Mayonnaise. We have veganese. God.
Butter. No, just kidding.
You know what? Honestly, I didn't realize that when you use Instacart, where you have food delivered to your house,
Yeah.
that there are people that go shopping for you and then it's delivered to you.
Yeah.
Like Uber driver type people. I didn't realize. I thought an Instacart was you submitted an order, the employees of the grocery store pick it up, and then it's picked up and delivered to you. Like
That's what I thought.
No, it's people who deliver the food go in and do the shopping.
You know, that's what Postmates used to do, I think.
And I was like, I saw this on some news because there's something going on with it. I don't even know what it is, but I saw, and I'm like, wait a minute. You mean the people that you have hired on Instacart to deliver your food are the drivers go in and do the shopping?
Are you going to become an Instacarter?
No, I was like, I would never allow some stranger to touch every single thing that's going to go into my house. I would never do it. I don't know why.
The grocery store people are.
Yeah, but they're trained. I don't know. They're trained. There's something. I am so unwilling to let someone pick out tomatoes or bananas for me. I'm like, no, I will never do that.
Wash them anyway. Well, maybe
it's not about the dirt. It's about the quality of. I mean, some person's gonna go, oh, here it is. Grab it and throw it in the basket. But it's like, do you methodically go through and look at every package, or do you just pick the first thing that comes to? I would be the worst. There would be so many notes. They'd be like, I'm not doing this lady's order. Like, I can't do it.
Well, first of all, they don't allow you. Well, okay, so we've ordered groceries multiple times from one of those super Walmarts where it's like half grocery, half store. You can order because all the other places, they don't. It's really hard to do the grocery shopping. Like, it is an Instacart situation.
Yeah, I can't do that.
They do their own shopping, like, at their grocery store. And so we don't get, like, the vegetables and the meats. We do that at our Bel Air. So we just get all the other stuff. So I'll do that. But some of the things is that you can't leave notes. And then they give you the option, like, if we don't have this, what would you rather get?
No.
Well, a lot of the time, and I sometimes I'll just say, well, just don't replace it because I have to have that one.
Right.
Well, a lot of the times they just don't replace it because they say, well, we were out of this or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I know you weren't out of Rice Krispies, or I know you did not have cottage cheese or whatever it is. And so sometimes Victor will just go in the store with the items that they didn't have, and he'll just go get them because either they were in a location that they're not typically in, like maybe they're in the center refrigerator section or whatever. And so that is kind of annoying. Because
it's annoying because they work there.
Well, they don't try that hard to look. Well, the shoppers work there, but they don't stock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not. Well, anyway, none of it. And this has always been a thing because, as most people know, there's nothing I hate less than going to the grocery store. And so people are like, just freaking go to get Instacart. Just have them do it. They'll load it up for you. And I go, yeah, see, but here's the struggle is, unlike most normal people, I don't want someone making those choices for me. I want to make those choices for me. And so therefore it will never happen. So it's a love-hate relationship. I hate going in there, but I also hate the idea of somebody I don't know pulling. If I can say, hey, I want Mark to go shopping for me, I know him. Then maybe, but it's never going to happen. Never.
Well, I don't mind if someone picks out my milk and butter and cereal and all that kind of stuff, or like, my flour and everything like that. But we literally have a Bel Air, 500 feet from our house where we would get our meats and produce and everything anyway.
Right.
So,
anyway.
It's not that bad, but at least we're not like doing full blown shopping.
Yeah.
Walmart is cheaper for like boxed products and things.
There are definitely reasons to have to use it if you're really sick or you can't drive, or I definitely understand.
I don't think you need an excuse to use it. I mean, sometimes we just don't want to go.
No. I'm not talking about you.
You can get like toilet paper, paper towels. You can get,
I'm just saying that if I ever needed it, truly, I would use it, but I don't. And so I can have this opinion of not liking it because I don't need to rely on it for anything. But in general, for me personally, the idea of it is so repellent. But I didn't realize that the Instacart drivers did the shopping. I was like, what? That's crazy. I thought for some reason the employees did it, and then the Instacart driver came in and picked it up. I didn't realize that they actually had to saunter in with their basket and go shopping. That's crazy.
the last time I attempted to go to Trader Joe's because I was looking for this particular type of cheese. It was pecorino or something like that. It's like made with sheep's milk or something.
Yes, I know what pecorino is.
I couldn't find it. And so I attempted to go to Trader Joe's, and there was a small line, what I thought was a small line. Ugh. Well, it's because it was small because it started to cross over the entrance to another store. So it stopped as the entrance of the other store went, and then it continued back to the other. It's because there was like 500 people in line just to get into Trader Joe's. And I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm like, I am not waiting in line to get into that stinky store. I'm like, forget it.
I have not walked into a Trader Joe's in over a month because of those fucking lines. I refuse.
This is why I order groceries online because I'm
like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, see if does Instacart shop at Trader Joe's, JB?
No.
How do you know?
No. I've been there long enough to know that they don't do that. But I will say this: I resent it. But there's, unfortunately, the reason that I like it there is because of the vibe, and the prices are pretty good and stuff like that. But there's nothing I can't buy at another grocery store that I can't get at Trader Joe's. I mean, there's a few things at Trader Joe's that I'm missing right now because I would go there every couple of weeks. But I refuse to stand in line to get it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I refuse. We'll drive by. Daryl goes, well, let's just do a drive-by. And I'm like, all right, fine, but I'm going to tell you it's long. So we'll do the drive-by. And I'm like, fuck this. Never am I going to stand in a fucking line to get into a goddamn store. This isn't Russia. Jesus fucking Christ. It reminds me of those people, and if you're listening to this, I am talking about you, the fools that wait in line outside at the Olive Garden. I'm like, what is wrong with you? It's fucking pasta. Jesus, I can't with that shit.
You know, Amazon sells a lot of specialty products, and
they do.
I've ordered a lot of stuff from them too. Like, I couldn't fucking find truffle oil. One recipe I was ordering, which I thought truffle oil was supposed to be like totally taboo, but well, if you watch Chopped, like, you are not.
Oh, well, they hate it.
I'm like, you're not allowed to use truffle oil.
Well, no, because they've lived and breathed and dyed it in their fancy restaurants for years, and they're just like, we're over it.
Well, I think you're allowed to use it, just not as like a topper or like a garnish.
It's like, you know what it's like? It's like sesame oil. Too much of it is not a good thing.
So they don't want people pouring it all over the top and like on the side and stuff. They're just like, oh God, he's using the truffle oil. God,
here we go.
Like, why would you ruin a perfectly good dish by just dumping truffle oil all over it?
This was really great until I tasted the truffle oil.
Until you just doused it in truffle oil. So when I read a recipe, it says it requires truffle oil. I'm like, am I allowed to buy that? So I couldn't find it though. I went to freaking Sprouts, Bel Air, all these places, and I'm just like, I can't find freaking truffle oil. And so
Trader Joe's has it.
I went to that was probably also on my list with the fucking pecorino cheese. And so Amazon had it though, and I found one. I think it was Bel Air that had it, but they wanted like $25 for it, and I'm like, I'm not spending $25 for like a 3-ounce bottle of truffle oil. I'm like, that's stupid. I'll just go without. But then Amazon had it. It was like $7 or something. It was ridiculous. Like cheap, I mean. So, anyways.
All right, next question.
Oh, right. I'm like, what do we do? Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere or be able to read minds?
Oh, teleport.
Oh, because you could be in Trader Joe's right now.
100%.
See, I would much rather be able to read minds.
Dude, I would teleport to Hawaii right now. I'd be like, I did the quarantine. I'm fine.
Okay, you know what? You would not, because we've done our taxes already. They're not accepting them yet, but naturally we're getting a nice return. So we thought, okay, so this is really awesome. The military has a hotel just for military people, and it's like ridiculously cheap.
Great.
And it's right on the beach of Waikiki. Okay. And airfare is really not that bad. The kids... No. I don't know why. The kids' spring break is like the second week in March.
Okay.
It's not even, Easter's not until April. So I don't know why their spring break is then. So we could literally fly and go there and get 2 rooms for 7 days for like $2,800.
Sweet.
And so we were going to do that. But then Victor, I said, well, call the hotel and find out what's going on. Nothing is open. They're not doing any activities. You can go to the pool for an hour and a half a day with a reservation. So she says, honestly, she's like, if you want to come to Hawaii, she's like, no, it's not the time. She's like, there's nothing open. There's no swimming. There's no luau's. There's no catamarans. There's nothing.
Yeah, that's true. They're pretty shut down. I mean, you can go to the beach and that's it.
That's it. And
yeah,
so
but I mean, there's no
okay.
like restaurants or it's true. That is true.
So we're like, well, we're not going to go. But we thought about it because we're just like, well, heck,
well, you should go. I mean, you just wait.
Well, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to wait. But I'm like, shit. I'm like, that'd be fantastic though. Because we haven't been anywhere except for Disneyland. Okay.
Right. Okay. Next question.
would rather read minds because I feel like I need to know everything. That's why
I don't want to know. You know what? I know how perverted Daryl's mind is. I don't want to know how much more perverted it is.
See, I don't want to know that stuff. I want to know what he's like thinking. Like,
no.
I feel like he lies. And so
who, Daryl?
Like, no, Victor.
Oh,
like,
Victor.
Of course I don't think about other women, or no, I don't think that way about her.
I don't want to know any of that stuff.
Fucking lie.
I'm not interested. Those are their private thoughts. Blech. Anyway, go on.
Okay. Would you rather find $5 on the ground or find all your missing socks?
Money.
Yeah, me too.
I don't give a shit about
Which
socks.
is stupid because I can always buy more socks, but they're more than $5.
I hate socks. And I hate socks, by the way. I'm not a fan.
Too.
Not a fan.
I would not. I don't like wearing. No, it's not that I don't like wearing socks.
I don't. I hate it. But I have the tiniest, thinnest socks possible, just so that if I have to have them, I have them. But
yeah, I have like little ankle athletic socks.
Me too.
But that's only if I wear boots and stuff.
Sure.
Okay, would you rather eat a box of dry spaghetti noodles or 2 cups of uncooked rice?
Spaghetti noodles, only because I've done it.
Well, we used to eat them all the time as children. Who would want to eat 2 cups of uncooked rice?
That sounds like a significant health emergency if you did that.
Well, I mean, okay.
It would absorb.
Okay, forget that. I'm just saying, like, I can't stand like rice when it's partially cooked. Like that's to me, it's just they shouts.
They call it toothy.
It just shouts like I don't know how to cook. Like I hate that.
Well, you're thinking also of our stepmom who couldn't cook rice for shit, and the first meal she made for us was a rice casserole, and it was like the most rawest rice ever in cheese and peppers, and it was like, this is literally the worst thing I've ever eaten ever.
I told you what Dad said when me and my first husband stayed with him for a few months in Tennessee, right?
No.
Okay, so when we got there, I made dinner a couple nights, and the first time I made dinner, he's like, wow, he's like, this is really good. And I'm like, thanks, Dad. He's like, you forget what good cooking tastes like when you've been eating so poorly for so many years.
He gives zero fucks, by the way. Zero fucks.
And when he's just sitting there, he's like, wow, he's like, this is just so fantastic. He's like, it's like a treat.
You know what? He kind of did that to me when I had him to dinner the last time I saw him, which was like a decade ago. I made him like, steak and all this other stuff.
Right. It was just spaghetti. I mean,
it was like, what? Anyway, no, when I was pregnant with Tyler, I had this really weird craving. I ate so much raw spaghetti. I literally bought a packet.
What?
I bought a package of raw spaghetti.
It sounds like pica.
Dried spaghetti. I bought a pack of it, like, just a normal whatever. And I had it. And when I would go to work, I would take a piece or two out and I would just eat it. And so I did that for the first 3 months of my pregnancy until finally one night I used to get night sickness. I did not get morning sickness. And so I would every night, Paula, I would work. I would be by myself. I'd be cleaning something, and then the night sickness would hit. And every single night for probably 2 months, I threw up raw spaghetti.
Oh, God.
Every single night. Every night. And I never stopped doing it because pregnant women are insane when it comes to cravings and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, there it is. There's all the spaghetti that's no longer raw.
That's so funny. With Ryan, my morning sickness was just sporadic. Like, I would get it mid-morning, but as long as I ate a snack, something that was heavy in protein, and I usually sipped Pepsi, that was okay. But in the evening time or midday towards early evening, see, the problem is in your first trimester, nothing digests.
No.
So by the time you vomit in the evening, you vomit everything you ate.
Everything you've eaten,
and it just makes it worse.
It's almost like a third storage bag, and then when you're done and your body's like, it's over, and you throw it all up, and you're like, oh, well.
It is literally trying to extract every single nutrient out of your whole diet.
Including any liquids, by the way.
Everything. So I'm just like, God, I ate that at 6 a.m. this morning. It's 7 p.m. that night. And I'm just
is that a prune?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, is that the McMuffin I had this morning?
What is that What? Oh my God. Oh, and you taste it all too.
And then the thing is when the vomit hits, like it hits, like wherever you are, you're vomiting. I remember throwing up in some hedges in front of a Chinese food restaurant. Victor was inside getting the to-go, and then he came out and he was like, "Where'd she go?" And I was behind like a cinder block pole, vomiting in some bushes, because all he heard was he came around the corner. He's like, "Oh my God." He's like, "Are you all right?" And I was just like, I'm sitting there vomiting, and I turned around. I'm like, "You think I'm all right?" Okay, what are we on? Last question.
Okay, last one.
Would you rather have hands that kept growing as you got older, or leg hands that kept growing as you got older?
Oh, no.
I know. The ultimate question.
I'd have to say the leg hands.
I know, me too.
I mean, I couldn't imagine having...
Like, you'd look like E.T. or
you
something.
You couldn't do anything. I mean, you would. I mean, at least with bigger leg hands, they have shoes and stuff. But for hands, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, but what if you started out with, like, big leg hands? Like, what if you were a size 10 or something?
Well, that would be unfortunate for those people.
You'd be like Michael Jordan.
I mean, I would just...
Shaq.
I mean, I would just... If I had to go with the body I have right now, then I would go with leg hands. But if I was like Shaquille O'Neal...
one of the questions. Would you rather be bald and thin or have long hair and overweight?
Well, that's what I am now, so I'll just stick with it. It's fine.
I think I would too, because I do not have the profile for bald head.
Oh, Paula. No. I mean, the only time I'm going to be bald is, by the way, if you ever get cancer, I'm not shaving my head. I just want you to know.
I told everyone that.
Don't do it.
If I thought I had it. Okay, so yes, I did recently have a medical issue. Well, I thought it was a medical issue, but I'm fine now. You're fine. It's fine. But I did have I dare I even call it a cancer scare. I had a pap smear. The pap smear came back clean, but there was something questionable on my cervix. Right. And so I went to a specialist, and it's nothing. It's it's like basically a skin tag of the cervix.
Big relief.
Yes, I'm completely relieved, but it was over a month and a half before I finally got to see the specialist. So I've basically been, having slideshows of my life and my children in my mind for the last month and a half, and I cry every night because I think I'm dying.
Right.
But anyways, so I told Victor, I said, please don't shave your head in solidarity, when I'm going through chemo and everything like that. I said, no one else needs to be ugly but me. I said, that's stupid. I'm like, I've seen you with a bald head. You are not a good candidate for that. I saw you when you went to Iraq the first time. I know you guys did it, and it's not a good look for you, Victor. I'm like, you look like a POW. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
So.
And I wouldn't do it either. But I mean, I
wouldn't want you guys to do it. I'm like, I'm going to get good wigs. I don't intend on walking around and being like, unite, or anything like that. I'm not that person. So.
Right. Anyway, so yes, I would definitely have to go with my current status, which is long hair and fat. So there you go. Someone told me I was unhealthily overweight on social media the other day.
Who said that?
Some stranger. I don't even know who it was. I had commented on, there was this picture of regular bats and hairless bats hanging out in some cave somewhere. And they said, oh, look at this really interesting thing. And I said, I go, gross. I go, it looks like a bunch of naked testes. Ew. Mm-hmm. And so some person that I don't even know who it is said, I'm sure people say that about you when they see how unhealthy and overweight you are. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, listen,
welcome to my world every time I comment on an MMA picture.
I literally started laughing because I'm like, who is this asshole? And of course, the desire that you act out on and that I didn't is to annihilate them.
I always do.
I know. And I was thinking, I'm like, God, I wish Paula had seen this, because she probably would have had some choice.
You should have tagged me in it. Was it crap wildlife photography? I belong to that group. Tag me next time.
It was
just say at Paula Campos Todd, do your best.
So anyway, I actually started laughing. I'm like, what? I'm like, what is this? I'm like, okay, how did you scour my Facebook account to find some photo that would make you think that I'm unhealthy and overweight? Like, I don't even know what that means, except that it wasn't even worded properly. Like, it was clearly, I looked at his account. He's clearly from here. He's a total nut job.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I'm not wasting my time. He could show up at my house or something. But anyway, it was fun. I started laughing. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, me and everybody else, I guess. But whatever.
That's what you said?
No, I didn't respond at all.
Oh, okay. I was just like, that's it?
No, what? I wouldn't. I would
you
never.
At least have to tell him something horrible.
I would be like, you rock. No, I did not. I just didn't say
why don't you get a toothbrush and brush your tooth, you fucking hick, and eat a bag of dicks while you're at it. You emaciated meth head.
Oh, God. Anyway, next time I'll tag you. Okay, so those were really funny and hard, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Interesting, huh?
Where did she find those? Did she make those up?
No. She was using like an app that had a bunch of questions.
Oh.
But they were just so random. Like they were funny.
Random.
Well, probably mostly. She's been so funny lately. I don't know if you saw the videos with her latex glove.
I did. She's definitely one of us.
So weird. God, she's weird.
I mean, here's the thing that sucks. I wish that it was safe to have children in entertainment because she belongs in that world.
I've asked her because I said, literally, Olivia, I'm like, I don't know what I would do. I could probably just make like a private YouTube account with a password and I could just send links to some agency in Los Angeles, or to a bunch of them and be like, this is my child. Just look. Tell
do
me
what you will.
And she's like, I don't want to be on TV. I'm like, all right,
well, then maybe theater would be good for her because
I'm probably going to try, yeah.
But she needs an outlet.
Nobody's doing anything right now.
No, I know.
So.
But when
we have a musical theater like a half a block from our house.
When things start to become more open, I mean, that's got to be priority number one. She needs an outlet for all this amazing creativity. She's so talented and funny. Do you have an awkward moment?
I do. Oh, my God.
Okay, well, let's do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
From when we were on like Christmas break, everyone gets cabin fever, and I mean, it's been pretty ridiculous. So I keep constantly trying to come up with creative things to do to like, break up the monotony or whatever. And so I don't know what prompted this, but I'm like, because we're always taking funny videos and doing things. I'm like, let's do the cinnamon challenge. And so the cinnamon challenge is where everyone puts a teaspoon of cinnamon in their mouth, and I guess they try and eat it or something.
Yes, it's very dangerous and burny.
Okay, well, I didn't know that at the time.
Oh, okay.
So we set up the video camera. All four of us were sitting there with our teaspoons, and we were ready. So we hit the play button, and we're like, oh, ready. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. We put our spoons in our mouth, and as I put my spoon in my mouth, I accidentally inhaled. So you could actually see the cinnamon spout out of my nostrils.
Oh, for sure.
Jamie, I thought I was dying. I literally thought I felt like I was being like waterboarded by cinnamon. I instantly was like, and I was like, and I ran out of the picture, and I felt like I was being asphyxiated. I was scared, and then so I was in the sink in the kitchen, and I was going, and I was trying to like exhale and like snort snot.
You needed you know what you could have gotten is a neti pot. That would have helped.
That's what I did next. Okay,
you did.
I did the neti pot. I had
did it
all
work?
sorts of brown. Ultimately, it was running clear with a little bit of blood in it. And
Paula,
Jamie, it was bad. Okay. Dumb. Ryan and Victor successfully ate the cinnamon. Olivia,
Ew.
I don't even know if she put it in her mouth. She may have put the tip in.
She probably faked it.
I don't like it. But I was severely suffering.
Wow.
And so I finally, when I was able to, it took like a good 10 minutes.
Oh,
before
for sure.
I was really scared because it was, I mean, I was just like, when I was breathing, it was like, like I felt like I couldn't breathe. I had cinnamon in my lungs.
Well, what did we learn?
Well, so I'm like, that is so dangerous. I'm like, is that even safe?
No, and people have died.
And so Victor looked it up. He's just like, the cinnamon challenge is severely dangerous and
yes,
not recommended for. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I feel like such an idiot. And I started crying. I'm like, I put my whole family at risk. And I started crying. And I was just like, I'm so glad I'm the only one that got, hurt. And so
very
Victor was hugging me, and I was just like, I'm such an idiot.
That would have been a strange. Oh, okay. So seriously, that would have been one hell of a funeral to explain if you had died from the cinnamon challenge.
God.
How do we not get through that without shredding comedically? I don't even know.
Well, I just don't want to think about how many baked goods would come to that, wake.
I'd be like, in memory of Paula Marie Todd, we will be having a service. Cinnamon rolls are encouraged.
Yeah. At the wake, please bring only cinnamon baked goods or cinnamon goods. Yeah, right. And wear brown clothing.
Please.
Instead of wearing black, we are encouraging brown clothing.
In tribute. And if you need help with it, our mother will help you find a smart skirt in brown.
Yeah. And please be warned, she will tell you it doesn't matter what you put it in. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, my God. So,
all right.
It was horrific, but...
Yes, and awkward.
I have not watched the videos. Like, I never watched the video because...
Do you not want to, or?
No, I'm horrified at what I did to my family. I mean,
they survived.
I'm the only one that like truly suffered. No one else like got hurt or sick or anything like that. But still, I'm just like,
okay. First of all,
what I attempted to do to them.
That's fine, except let's not act like you weren't the only adult in the room. Okay, there was another adult who could have went. You know what? Maybe we should check this out before we do it.
I get that, but it was my idea. And
I'm aware.
I'm just always, well, you know how we did like, the kick lid thing and, we've done the ice bucket challenge and we're always trying to do like the latest craze thing. I don't know what else we've done before, but, so I thought like, hey, we haven't done this. And so, what we were originally going to do was the saltine cracker challenge, which is whoever can chew a saltine cracker the fastest and whistle wins.
Oh, okay.
And
that's very Little House on the Prairie.
Crackers, and I couldn't participate because I can't eat saltine crackers.
Gluten.
So.
Yes.
I know.
Anyway, okay, my awkward moment is not nearly as epic as yours. I do have trouble sleeping, and so I take the NyQuil gummies, and I don't do it every night, but I do it most nights, and they do work to help me fall asleep. And so I was down to the last 3, and I had another jar, but I was down to the last 3 in the jar that I had, and I went, you know what? I'm not going to transfer the 1. I'll just eat all 3. So I ate all 3.
Oh my God.
And I fell asleep very quickly, and it was fine, except that when I woke up to pee, I didn't realize that I have this routine where I get in bed and I check the news one more time, and then I turn on Bob's Burgers and I lotion myself, and I have all this little routine that I do. Well, I fell asleep so hard that I left everything on the bed. My phone, my lotion, everything. And then Daryl...
So you like passed out.
I passed out. Yeah, completely. And so Daryl comes to bed because he has his routine too. And so I was asleep when he came upstairs because he always gives me 30 minutes to be alone. And then he comes up, and I was already out. So I had fallen asleep, and the lotion, everything fell off the bed when I was sleeping.
Oh, okay.
And so in the middle of the night, I woke up and I had to pee really bad because I was in such a deep sleep that when I woke up, I'm like, oh my God, I have to pee so bad. So I got up, and not knowing that the stuff had fallen on the floor because it was in the middle of the night, I stepped on my lotion. What?
Well, did you step on your lotion?
I stepped on the lotion, and of course, and I was like, what is that? I was like, oh my God. I'm so glad I didn't fall. But
it looked like a little shit on the floor.
Yes. And I was like, oh my God. And so I got up, and of course, I can't hold it. I have to go to the bathroom first. So
did you
I had to pee
on the floor?
No, but I got up and I peed really quick, and then I came back and I cleaned it all up, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, of all the things, I get up, there's one thing on the floor, and I step on it. It was ridiculous.
Why didn't Daryl pick it up when he came to bed?
It fell in the middle of the night, Paula. I keep saying it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No.
Oh, God.
And like, first of all, like, he would pick it up, please. Come on.
Well, what's funny is I used to sit on the sink and pick up my face before I got my 3 or 20 times little mirror.
Yes.
And one time I didn't even realize I had sat on the toothpaste. And it made like a little shit roll on the counter. And Victor brought me in the bathroom. He's like, look. And I'm like, what? And he's like, look. And I'm like, oh. He's like, and he started laughing. He's like, it looks like a little poop. He's like, he sat on the toothpaste.
Oh, God. How did you not feel that?
Well, I mean, how would you feel sitting on with a big ass? I mean, you just like plop down and be like, oh, I think I just sat on the toothpaste.
Anyway.
Anyways. All right. Well, yep, that's a wrap. Did you guys watch the fight last week, by the way?
I did, but we're running out of time. So.
Okay. Well, all right. So we will see you next week. Stay warm. I know it's cold out there. That's it. Okay. Bye. Bye.